Now we shall understand concepts of classes. Classes is a good concept where we can extend the capability of functions further, because we can here create multiple objects out of a class-based template. For example, suppose box is a class, then box of a certain dimensions would be an object of that class. So you can use that box template to create physical boxes of different dimensions. So similarly, we'll understand those class concepts. We'll create a class. Class is a keyword, and usually we start class name with capital letters. So whenever we define class, we have to give this kind of curly braces, and then there is a semicolon, because class by itself this completes a statement. Suppose for simplicity's sake, we'll declare a public value in this class, say a variable called n. And we'll also create a small function which is, say, show value. And a function will have this, and a function, say, displays the value of this, whatever is there inside this n. We'll declare like this, n and l. Remember, this class definition is just a template. Just by itself, class doesn't do anything until we declare objects of this class. For example, value is the class name, so we can give any object's name, say v1, v2. And then, since class also has this access specifier, a public access specifier means that I can use this outside my class domain as well. So this v1 n, class can have multiple instances, and each instance is a separate copy which can have different values. So v1n is equal to, say, 1, and v2 dot n is equal to, say, 2. So these are multiple instances, and these are called objects. And that's why a programming model which allows the classes and objects, we call it object-oriented programming. And this we are accessing a public variable, which is possible because we have declared things as public here. By default, class variables are private. That means they can be used within this class boundary. But if I declare it public, it can be used outside this. And anything below this public colon, even if this function will be a public function. So I can be using this function outside. So v1 dot show well. This dot allows me to connect the class name with my variable name or function name. And v2 dot show well. What I am expecting is, since these two objects are different copies of the same template, they can contain different values together because they will have different memory images. So although this as a concept we are using the same function, but since we are using object-oriented programming, so we can have multiple objects based on the same class. Right? That the way I gave you the example of the box class and multiple boxes with different dimensions. Okay. So those will be objects. We can now try to build and run this. Value 1 and 2. We gave different values, and value 1 and 2 it could print, because we could keep different values in different objects. And we could use this dot operator because this was a public access allowed here, right? And this was also a public method. Public method. Because anything below this public declaration, public colon, will be public, whether it is a variable or a method, right? We can give it like this also, just to indent it rightly. Okay. So the concept of a class is that it can have multiple memory copies, which are instances of class, and they are called objects. And a class can have access specifier, which could be public or private, and others are also there. We'll understand them later. But right now we can understand that class can contain multiple data and multiple functions, and these are also called attributes or fields of a class, and these are called functions we have been calling, but in class context we also call them methods of a class. Nice. And these are instances of a class. These are two instances of a class. The way we declare something like int something, comma, another thing, same way we declare class name. And so it is a basically user defined object type. Okay.
Please like, share and subscribe.